Okay, how are we looking? How are we looking at the moment? Levels are stable, not dropping any frames. We might be in the money today. Because we certainly fucking weren't yesterday. Because holy shit, I sat here for 40 minutes trying to get anything to work, and it just fucking didn't. Restarted the stream twice and my computer once. It was a fucking bastard. But here we are. I'm gonna actually, like... I think we're fine now, this time around. So, I'm just gonna, like, do some promo nonsense and, like, send out tweets and the sort. Seems, you know, the sensible thing to do and all that. Oh, I need to get some music on. Say her in silence. There we go. Now it's how I'm just doing some stupid promo nonsense. I was gonna wait. Normally, I will like schedule the tweet to go out just as I'm like, you know, on my starting soon page. You know, when I'm actually about to start. But I didn't want to tweet it out until I was certain that the stream was going to be all right. And by the looks of things, it's okay. So. I'm not sure how long the stream is going to be because I didn't really sleep like at all last night, so I'm very tired. Yeah, sure, say that's all good. So I'm gonna make some magic items. Move this over here. Right, so I had something that I started in yesterday's stream, and I literally wrote a sentence, or less than a complete sentence on it. Tinkling sound as it moves. Like quiet. Wind chimes. As an action, you can crouch down. Through a 20-foot cone. You just like... It's a variant of an idea from Failire from some time ago. Let me actually mark that as done now. We'll do a creature takes damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. for anyone who's just dropped in, making magic items for 5th edition. If you would like to suggest something, you know, like serious suggestions, no stupid meme suggestions, you can use channel points and suggest Homebrew in the well, you can spend channel points on it basically. That's something I need to check. Hang on. I need to find a magic item that does bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage and isn't a magical weapon, because I'm not sure if I need to clarify if this damage is magical or not. Then again, all the creatures that are resistant to non-magical specify non-magical attacks. And this isn't an attack, so technically it would apply. But I'm not gonna take that by its wording. I'm gonna look and see if an item clarifies anywhere. I don't want a weapon is the problem. Let's look for vanilla items. I would assume I probably don't need to specify that it's magical, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I don't really want to, like, be forced to check, you know? Or I don't want to put it in and then be like, oh, technically this is bad. And it's like, oh. To be fair, I could change it to force, and it just wouldn't matter, but I don't really want to do that, you know? It's kind of boring. You know, I'm going to assume it probably doesn't need specifying. I will have to take another look at this in my own time, but I'm going to assume that I don't need to. Honestly, this could just be uncommon. It is 40. Oh, it is 48 damage. It is actually quite a bit. That is like a 4th level spell. 3rd level, depending on. It is a 3rd level spell. Obviously, 48 and Fireball don't. You know, they don't mesh. But as a third level Shatter, for instance, in a bigger area. Oh, I found a bot. The bot has been banished. Banished to the Shadow Realm. I'm actually going to keep these marked like this so I can't miss them later on. God, I am exhausted. I'm like... I'm not sure for how long I slept last night. I think it was probably only a couple hours. But yeah, I went to bed with like the shakes. It was bad. I don't know. I couldn't find like so I have like an ear thermometer. I've had it for like probably like a decade or more. You know, you just put it in your ear and you hold the, you press the button and it makes like a sort of a dung sound and then beeps and then gives you your temperature from the inside of your ears. It's quite good. But I couldn't find it, so I didn't know what was going on. So I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go to bed. Which is probably a bad idea, to be fair. I could have been fucking dying. I don't, almost certainly wouldn't have been, but theoretically I could have been, It wasn't a great idea. But yeah, I went to bed and woke up probably about 3 hours later. And did not feel great. But I've been mostly alright since, and I didn't bother going back to bed because I knew I'd just feel worse. And not sure if I was right, I feel like I maybe could have benefited from going back to bed, but I've done a reasonable amount of things today. I've caught up on my watch list, and I've done some work. So, maybe it's not so bad going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and getting up at like 5:40. So you can suggest things with the suggest homebrew, though you might not have the points for it this early on. Yeah, I think the main thing is oh, thank you very much, follow. I think the main thing there is codifying when you would need to roll for something like that. I think it would just be simpler if it was like disadvantage on sleight of hand and acrobatics checks, or just dexterity ability checks. I think would make the most sense. I think it's an interesting idea though. Where is the eye patch? Yeah, I think with minor edits, I think I can probably work. Eye patch of depth perception. It's all good. Wondrous item. So just uncommon. Creating the appearance of let me go read, like, because there are dark vision goggles. I think they're night vision, goggles of night, that's it. worthwhile. Simplest way to go about it. Making some magic items. So welcome in. Night. Honestly, I think calling it the eye patch of night to mirror the goggles of night, I think is interesting. Also allows me to reference depth perception in the rules text without it sounding awkward and weird. Disadvantage on dexterity, ability checks, and saving throws, just to make sure, you know, it's like actually. Actually no, that's too much. It's too much. I might also give it 60 feet of dark vision, so it is actually like, you know, I wouldn't say equivalent, but is more, you know, people might actually consider, like a human character might actually consider just dealing with the curse, you know? Extends the curse to you. So your main curse you can remove. I think actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to nab this text from the Armor of Vulnerability. In any way short of tearing your eyeball out in the process. That's bad. Yeah, that's kind of funny. I like it. Let's get this big old line of tildes just to mark where it is, so I don't lose it later on. God, I am so tired. The tea I've been having like all day has not really been helping either. Okay. Let me go through my magic item ideas. New tattoos. Like they introduced the tattoos in Tasha's, and I've not really I'm not super familiar with them. But they are really good. Like I know a few of them. So I think having sort of a couple tattoos could be cool. There are a handful of common tattoos. Oh, my back. There's the Illuminators Tattoo, which has nothing to do with the light spell and sucks. There is the Masquerade Tattoo, which oh, thank you for the follow. Yeah, the Masquerade Tattoo lets you disguise self once per day, and lets you do some, lets you color things. There's a couple of there's a couple of tattoos for spells. There's the Barrier Tattoo, which gives you pretty good unarmored defense. Actually, what does the bigger Barrier Tattoo actually give you? There's not a lot of rare or uncommon tattoos, so that's probably something to potentially toy with. There's also the Eldritch Claw Tattoo, which is completely ridiculous, by the way. It is insane. My character recently got one in a game I play in on a Monday. We're on a very brief hiatus at the moment for like a couple of weeks, but I just got it, and it's insane. It's so good. It makes your unarmed strikes +1 magic weapons, which is cool, and also quite good. But also, as a bonus action, once per day, you can gain a reach of 15 feet and gain 1d6 force damage on hit for a minute, which is insane. The Eldritch Claw is ridiculous. I'm looking at making some new ones because they're but the tattoos are from Tasha's. And where is Tasha's in my gigantic fuck off stack of books? I think it's the next one underneath this, he says. I don't actually know what page of Tasha's. I've got a separate like online tool in front of my face at the moment. It's probably around here somewhere, he says. I don't actually know. Oh, yeah. This looks like it. There's a lot of magic items in here. There's a lot more than I thought. Damn. I thought there was, like, hardly any, but no, there's loads of them. Oh, there's another tattoo. Oh, no, yeah, there's tattoos in here. Oh, that's interesting. I'll say, Tiny does come with a lot of baggage. Namely that, holding objects is... Your carrying capacity caps at a maximum of, like, well, what is it, like 20 times 5 over 2. So, if it's assuming you're a tiny race with 20 strength, it's... Oh, God, math. Yeah, you're like... you're encumbered at, like, 50 pounds or something. But I think it's kind of neat. What's the concept? Or concepts, I suppose, because there's two. There we go. Yeah, I think there's definitely it's a design space worth exploring. I've never really gone into it too much myself because I think it's pretty much hassle, to be honest. But it's definitely worth exploring, and ultimately, like, if it proves to be cumbersome or awkward, then always change it. It's not really the end of the world. But yeah, definitely a design space worth exploring. Yeah, sure. Just looking through the tattoos and thinking of what. Two wisdom, one con. Tiny is capitalized, like a capital T. Natural adventurer. I would assume it means that they're just immune to fall damage, which is a little strange. Yeah, but it doesn't explicitly imply that that's what it does. So that's definitely something that needs to be... So yeah, the art's quite cool. Hang on, for the innate spellcasting, spells are sentence case and italicized. Oh, italicized that way, because I'm mirrored. Wisdom, additionally when you hit a creature that you pull in space. Okay, that's fine. I also wouldn't call it innate spellcasting, given that... Yeah, say, they get Thorn Whip and nothing else. It would be, you know, Vine casting or something. Dark Vision is generally listed at the very top of abilities. It'll be under speed. Base walking speed of 15 feet. I mean, there's a limit, right? You know, a squirrel can totally drop out of, like... Can totally survive, like, a 30-foot drop out of a treetop, but if a squirrel, you know, fell off a cliff, that squirrel's dead, you know? Yeah, the falling damage thing needs to be codified more, as it explicitly means you don't take falling damage and don't fall prone, and I would say there definitely needs to be a limiter on it. Also, base walking speed 15 feet. Like, there's a reason there aren't any races with a 20-foot speed, let alone like races with 15 feet. That's just not fun to play, you know. It just isn't. Realistically, diminutive build shouldn't let you use it if you're wearing armor that's worse. You should just not wear armor. Also, with diminutive build, I wouldn't combine flavor text in the middle of rules text. It's sort of the first paragraph is all rules text, and the second paragraph is flavor text. That's generally, you don't want to do that, because it just creates like a weird sort of separation. You're in rules mode, and then you start reading flavor text, and you're like, oh, what the fuck, these aren't rules, and then you immediately switch back to rules as well. Your tools and weapons not designed for your hands. That second to last thing is size enables you to move through or share space with any creature that is larger than you. I think that's already a thing. No, it isn't actually. That's a lie. It is a thing. Yeah, common plus one other language. That's fine. Where's the other one? Here. Dex Charisma. Tiny. Yeah, again. Capital T. Base. Okay, right. Okay. Base walking speed 10, but they have a 30-foot fly speed. Okay, that's fine. The hands are interesting. It's interesting. I like the concept. It's cool. I think the Minuscule are probably more refined. But I think with a little bit of extra work, both of these will be pretty reasonable. Like playing them wise. I know a lot of people are very like anti flying races for like fairly legitimate reason, but I guess that's, you know, like you just don't allow flying races at your table if you don't like them, right? I don't think they're inherently a bad thing, but I see why people dislike them. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I like it. Right. Time to go back through my list of magic item nonsense. Tattoos, that was what I was thinking of. So the tattoos that there are, there's the Illuminators Tattoo, which has nothing to do with illumination. There's the Masquerade Tattoo, which is exactly what it sounds like it does. There are the Spell-wrought tattoos, which go all the way up to 5th level. Like they just net you like a spell once per day, and they go from cantrip to 5th. There also aren't spell-wrought tattoos for higher level. Like they very reasonably could be. Yeah, there's not very rare and legendary ones. They could be very rare for 6th and 7th, and legendary for 8th or 9th level spells. But I guess they don't really want to do that. I guess makes sense. And yeah, there's the 3 different sizes of barrier tattoo, which do various different things. There's the Shadowfell brand tattoo, which is interesting. It's also just really bad. It's really not good. It's the Coiling Grasp tattoo. What's that? You can grapple someone. Yeah, you use your action to grapple someone. It's not very good, but it's not terrible. Yeah, I'd say I would agree with the point about the anti-flying races thing. It's having like one of my friends who's a regular on the stream. I don't think he's about at the moment, but he's no. Hello, Joe, you are here. Super anti-flying race, just for fairly legitimate reasons, because they can like ruin a play experience if injected into the wrong game. They can just trivialize a lot of shit, and a lot of the points that are made about like flying races are super reasonable, but it's really campaign dependent on whether they're actually a problem or not. But yeah, I think the real sort of the people who complain about them the most and are the most sort of vehement are the people that don't really understand the concept of they can just say no to flying races. And, what the fuck are their players going to do? Like, demand to play a flying race? Like, no, that's not how that works. The main thing with the magical tattoos is that you don't need a specific tattoo artist to give them to you. You basically just, like, attune to the needle and just poke yourself and the tattoo goes, boom, and just appears on you. I think it's a little more complicated than that, but like it is, you don't need like a dedicated tattoo artist to know how it works and what it does. So it kind of bypasses that like potential flavor fail anyway. Yeah, there's the uncommon ones. There's Coiling Grasp, which is okay. There's Eldritch Claw, which is insane. Rare has the better barrier tattoo, the Shadowfell brand, which is terrible, and that's kind of it. And there's a decent amount of very rare ones. There's the Absorbing Tattoo, which basically gives you resistance to a damage type, and once per day lets you become immune and absorb it, just once per day as a reaction, which I think is really cool. I think that's like a really fun way of doing damage resistances. I think it's just fun. There's the Big Barrier Tattoo, which just gives you AC 18, just flat out, just gives you play armor stats, which is fine. I don't even think that's a very rare thing, like, whatever. I guess you can put that on a wizard, and that's pretty good. I suppose that's why it's very rare, because actually, like, putting that on a wizard is actually really strong. There is the Ghost Step Tattoo, which does exactly what it sounds like it does. Turns you into a ghost for a little while. Lifewell Tattoo gives you a death ward once per day and resistance to necrotic, which is fine. Those are all the... Yeah, there's also the Blood Fury Tattoo, which is the only legendary one. It's the only one. Has 10 charges. Recharge at dawn. You can expend a charge to do 46 necrotic damage, and you regain hit points equal to the... Oh, okay, right. I get... Yeah, this is legendary. Has 10 charges. Oh, and when a creature you can see damages you, you can use your reaction to expend a charge and make an attack against them. During which, when you hit them, you can then expend another charge. That is insane. That's so strong. Like, it's legendary, right? Like, it's not completely fucking insane. Okay, yeah, I'd say it's just, that's pretty alright. You get some, I guess the main thing with Levitate, if you're not ranged, Levitate's kind of... Levitate is like a great defensive tool if you're ranged, but otherwise it's not great. But if you're an archer, then like you're in the money, right? And if not, then it's not very good. Because Levitate, you just sort of float slowly through the air. And if you don't have something to hold on to, then you're just kind of sad. So yeah, I think rare and legendary. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of inexplicably deadly holes in that campaign, by the sounds of things. So yeah, I think we need rare tattoos and legendary tattoos. I feel like an obvious thing to do. Let me just actually check whether Wild Beyond the Witchlight has this. Because if Wild Beyond the Witchlight has it, then I will be sad. No. So, there is the Shadowfell brand tattoo. Why is there not a Feywild brand tattoo? Let's do that. That feels like sort of filling a niche. It's going to involve a lot of Oh, tattoo is a subtype of wondrous item and not just, just its own magic item type, which is weird, but whatever, right? It's just like copied raw from Oh yeah. Hell, just putting them in the bag of holding will do it. They got 10 minutes of oxygen and then they just suffocate to death. So yeah, it's going pretty good making some magic items at the moment. Making some tattoos. So the Shadowfell brand tattoo gets Shadow Essence. I feel like you should get Fey Essence. That feels sensible. You get Fey Ancestry. Ah, yes. Now I just need to clear my throat real quick. Oh. Somehow I managed to pull a muscle like in my stomach, or like not like my stomach, not my inner organs or anything, but like a muscle like around like my waist or something. And coughing and sneezing and stuff is it's quite uncomfortable. It'll pass in a day or two, but it doesn't feel super great. Yeah. Let me check Peritons real quick. They're my go-to creature that I know has flyby because they were my first introduction to flyby as a thing. And to surround you in a glowing fey light, grant you flying speed equal to twice your walking speed till the end of your next turn. So you become fast as hell for a turn once per day, or for 2 turns, I guess, once per day. You can zip around, which is definitely very strong. But this ability is kind of like whatever. You know, you get fey ancestry, cool. And if you're already like a half elf or an elf, then time to be sad. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, I like that. That's that definitely adds another rare option for I feel like I definitely need to do another tattoo, another rare level tattoo. I'm gonna mark that down in my list. Definitely at least 2 legendary tattoos. I'm not gonna like force the idea right now, but I feel like you get sort of the dichotomy of the Feywild and the Shadowfell, and I think like the Far Realm is like, yeah, you have the Great Wheel sort of cosmology, you have the Feywild and the Shadowfell and the material plane in the middle, and then literally outside of the wheel is the Far Realm. It feels too far removed. I think for the legendary one, something to do, though, is the Blood Fury tattoo makes you do a shit ton of damage and gives you health regen. So we need one that buffs your spellcasting in some way. It'd be ooh, the Grand Weave tattoo. That's like the Grand Weave of magic. That sounds cool. We're gonna go with that. I'm just gonna nab all of this text for probably follow the same sort of structure as well. Grand Weave tattoo. A chaos themed tattoo could be fun, actually. Certainly one that gives you the that's a potentially interesting rare one, is getting the once per day limbo ability that you have, where you can like psionics shit into other stuff. I forget specifically how it's worded and how it works, but I know it's a thing. That could be interesting. I like that. It's legendary. So following the same sort of design structure of the Blood Fury tattoo, which So 10 times per day, you just upcast your shit for free. Like, when compared to Blood Fury, Blood Fury is like insane anyway. It gives you the capstone of Berserker Barbarian, and also gives you an objectively much better version of Vampiric Touch for free. Like, no opportunity cost. Making monsters is good fun. Yeah, I actually very recently, like, it's the last one in a series that I've been contributing to the Hollandanger books. There is, I think, 6 of them now, and we just released the last one. See, I don't think so. I don't think we necessarily needed. Oh, right. No, I see what you mean. Right. Yeah, I suppose so. But I guess in that instances, most 9th level spells don't scale. Well, I say that. No 9th level spells scale. So using this would do nothing, basically. Be like, oh, it's a 10th level spell, but that doesn't actually mean anything. Like, I guess you could upcast like a lower level spell at 9th level and then use this feature and get more out of it, but why would you upcast a low level spell to 9th? That's just a bad idea, you know? Like, you just wasted your 9th level slot. Like, upcasting is generally like, anyway, but like, doing this is just like, what are you even doing, you know? What was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to say it's the 6th one, but either way, we for every sort of major world holiday, plus also we did summer as well, because that was funny. It was like a book of like 10 to 13 monsters, and we just moved the last one, and I got to do a lot more monsters on this one than I have done on previous books for like various reasons. Oh, there's 5 of them. He says. No, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5. Oh, I thought there was more than that. Oh, well, there's 5 of them. But yeah, so they it's that's like a year-long project that's just kind of over now, which is interesting. But yeah, so now what should the second ability be? I'm thinking. Oh, I know. Hang on. Let me go read like the sorcerer ability. I think it's Font of Magic. No. Oh no, it's Arcane Recovery is what I want. Yeah, sure. Sounds interesting. I'll certainly give it a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm like 4 items deep. We're about an hour in. Where is... Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's kind of interesting. I think the main thing is whenever you give a list of options for damage types, there's always a correct option, and not just because of what you're fighting, just because there's just damage types that really nothing is resistant or immune to, or largely speaking, just isn't at all. Like if your list of damage types includes acid or thunder, then those are the ones that are going to get picked, preferring thunder. That's interesting. I think balancing that would be challenging in the sense of it would be difficult in the sense that you would potentially give a bunch of creatures multiple extra actions. Yeah, I think wording that would get weird. I'll have to think about it. I'll keep it on the back burner, but yeah, I think wording something like that, specifically swapping initiatives mid-combat, can get weird. Yeah, so that is like that is the one shot kind of trick of making that ability completely fine is at the beginning. Like, honestly, that I might actually just do that. Is obviously you lose kind of the hitting someone with it and then getting the benefit, but which is a cool visual. But I think the another thing with Fate in the title, but this has been moved to another book because this is the personal weapon of Angela the Fate Weaver, and I currently have almost finished. I think probably tomorrow I'm going to do the last stream of writing that book, because I've got one more character to write and I'm going to do it in that stream. I think anyway, as all going well, I'm going to try and do that. Fate Stealer's Needle, wondrous item, rare. I think it's cool, even if it doesn't fit, you know? Like, I don't know if it fits for sure, but it's a cool name, so like, who fucking cares, right? Like, of all of the, like, insane shit I've made in the fucking years I've been doing this, the stuff I remember is the stuff with the cool name. Like, I have 2 books with 160 spells in each of them, and the spells I remember the best are the ones with the coolest names. Like, Hyperborean Star is a 9th level spell from the first book, and the only reason I really remember it is because of its name. It's otherwise, I mean, it's a 9th level spell, so of course it's, you know, quite good, but it's yeah, so I say that's more or less what I'm going to do. I've never really done monsters with really cool names like that, I don't think. I tend to be very kind of like... Actually, there are some, like I play a decent bit of Magic the Gathering, and thus the formatting of legendary creature names from that game are, like, ingrained in my mind. And, you know, and also I really like Dark Souls, like the aesthetic of Dark Souls. So yeah, I guess that there's, like... Certainly the coolest boss fight I've ever done was against Dane the Rider, who's a guy, he rides a nightmare, and he's a servant of hell. And halfway through the fight, you kill his horse. You kill the nightmare, and he gets real mad. And instead becomes like a Giga Ultra Dark Souls boss and starts doing jump, like, half turn slash attacks. He leaps like 15 feet into the air and fucking comes at you like a goddamn meteor. And it's just, I love it. It's probably the most understated, but easily the best boss fight I think I've ever done. Yeah, I say that's like if your CR30 monster is just like named like Trevor or whatever, unless that's specifically like the bit that it's a CR30 creature named Trevor, then like what are you even doing, That's interesting. I think the main thing is it's very swingy. Like you're fishing for Dispel Magic, but you don't get it, and then you're just kind of sad. But then sometimes you crit, and it's like they've not got any spells on them. Yeah, Paradox Tyrant does sound like yeah, that sounds like a fucking Eldrazi right there. Actually, it does it? No, yeah, it does. That's a fucking Eldrazi name if ever there was one. Yeah, it's cool. Swap initiative results with that creature. Yeah, honestly, that just works. Fate Stealer's Needle. I'm trying to think, like, what's the most ridiculous? It's got to be something from my West Marches game where there's characters who are, like, 23rd level in that campaign. So I kind of have to do insane things. What is, like, the most ridiculous boss battle from that? It's Dane was certainly the most visually ridiculous. Oh, okay, right. There's oh, okay, right. There's a few stories here. I've just opened up my Roll20 with all of my boss creatures on it. There's a character called Octavia, who has like giant gauntlets and a ridiculously massive sword. Who, it just goes, okay, right, I'm going to attack you. Elven accuracy advantage, crit, Eldritch Smite, 100 points of damage, you are dead. Or 100 points of damage, and then I attack you 3 more times, and then you are dead. There's that. There is the Tomorrow. There's a guy who just doesn't die and summons infinite undead. else is there? Oh, there's Nilbog Prime, who is entirely a joke enemy, but he's also terrifyingly powerful. Nilbog Prime, if you're not familiar with a Nilbog is like a goblin that's been blessed, cursed, I don't know, with special annoying powers. Just the power to be incredibly annoying and charismatic. And Nilbog Prime is a being of pure chaos that's also a Nilbog. So he has his Nilbog stick, and whenever he hits you with his Nilbog stick, automatically roll wild magic, and it is skewed in the favor of the Nilbog. So if it can affect him positively, it will. And if it affects everybody negatively, then yeah, he fireballs himself in the face, but like, whatever, that's funny. But the main thing is every time he dies, he immediately reappears with a new body in a random place nearby, just out of sight. And he is completely just unawares with the concept of death. He just kind of dies and then just respawns immediately, and it's just like, he doesn't know what's going on. He just wanders around and breaks things, and he's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, realistically, a minute is the length of is double the length of a combat. I say, the Nilbog Prime was explicitly designed to be an annoying and stupid enemy, like where they burn all their 9th level spells to kill Nilbog Prime, and he just immediately was like, "Hi, I'm Nilbog Prime," because that's his voice. He sounds like that. I'm not going to do the proper voice because it's really loud and really it would blow people's fucking eardrums out. I have a very specific tone that I generally speak with on stream, and it's about this kind of level, if a little louder, like that. But yeah, to do Nilbog Prime's voice possibly properly, would require me to be about twice as loud. So I'm not going to do that. So, by the name of Mr. Buttons, I have a feeling I inherently agree with you. Oh god.
Daddy a full year. Craigasm.
Yeah, sure. So I'll give it. Thank you very much for the sub of it. It's a shame that you don't get the cool, like D20 emote, because you've got the shitty founders badge instead. Like God, I wish I could like the. Yeah, it's like I've got it. Hang on, let me. Let's just put in test. Yeah, I spent bloody ages on those. And I say I do still have like I've gone through all the founder badges. That's like a non-thing. But even so. So you wouldn't get the shiny dice, you just get a regular dice. Because I'm automatically tier 3 sub to myself, it gives me the little stars. You would just get the dice. Yeah. So you can't even change it either. You can't even like as a streamer, you can't make a special one for like, you can't customize the founder badge to look cool. It's just that they're stuck with the stupid pink first. And it sucks. But oh well, whatever, right? It's not really the end of the world. It's dumb, but Shard of the Self. I think attunement by Bard is definitely like unnecessarily limiting, but I like it. It's interesting. I'll say copy paste that into the lost my train of thought completely. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. So thanks for stopping by. Let me see it. God, I'm trying to use my brain. The channel points thing. Yeah, so Phalai, just copy that on into the channel points section. Class-specific magic items it can be cool, but I think in places, I think they need to be used sparingly. They should never be arbitrary. Oh yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, that lets me store it for later. Because it's a fairly lengthy item, and it's got a lot of text, and I might do it later on, but so I'm not a fan of magic items that play into class features all too much. I try to avoid them where possible. Because they're usually either shit or so good that all players want them because they're just that good. You know, Holy Avengers are just, Holy Avengers because they're good. But a Paladin is not going to be mad when you give them a +3 longsword instead of a Holy Avenger. Because the Holy Avenger is just a good sword. It doesn't make them any better at being a Paladin. At least I don't think it does. I might be talking out my arse here. Holy Avenger might be like, oh, Divine Smite or something. But I don't think it is. Oh, you get some benefits for being a Paladin. For being a... Well, that's... Hang on a second. Paladin auras increase at 18th. And this specifies that that's a flavor fail right there. Either way, I was kind of wrong. It's the Holy Avenger does have some class stuff, but it doesn't it's not completely like, oh wow, I just become a better Paladin if I have this. It's like, no, it's just a good sword. Oh. Oh, I've just seen a cover prototype for a book I'm working on. I think Druids are sort of like, they're alright, Druids aren't like crazy strong. They're not weak either. A lot of the Druid power comes from its utility rather than its actual power as a class. Aside from the Moon Druid power spike at level 2, that's ridiculous, but everything else Druid does is just kind of fine. It's just kind of wonky in places. Like a lot of the classes are, to be fair. I'm a very big fan of the Tasha's Druids. I don't really give much of a shit about Swarm's Druid. At least I think they reprinted that from... Did they reprint that in that book? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they reprinted it from Ravnica. Ravnica is post, yeah. Yeah, I think the main thing is sorcerers are super low power. It's one of the, whilst 5.5 or whatever the fuck they end up calling it, kind of makes me want to die a little bit. I am genuinely looking forward to watching them kind of fixing. Yeah, so it's not in flavor for sorcerers at all. Like it's antithetical to what sorcerers are to give them prepared casting. But yeah, whatever. The main problem with sorcerers that I'm hoping 5.5 or whatever the fuck it is will fix is just giving them more spells, giving them subclass spells, in the same way that Aberrant Mind and Clockwork Soul do, because they just kind of fix the sorcerer problem. Because the problem with sorcerer is you need to spend like most of your spells that you get on defensive tools because you're a squishy caster. Wizards can pick up their defensive tools basically for free because they get 1 million spells. Even at low levels, like mage armor is, something you have to use kind of sparingly. Or is, you still kind of have to use mage armor sparingly, whereas sorcerers, it's like, you start with 2 spells. Warlocks are the only ones that only have expanded spell lists. All of the classes, Warlock is the only one that doesn't get free spells. Warlocks have expanded spell lists. All the other classes that get spells in that way in a table, they're free. Like all the cleric ones, all the paladin ones, all of the 2 Tasha's sorcerer subclasses, they're free spells. They're not expanded spell lists. They are just free. The Warlock is the only one where it's like, oh, you can learn these spells if you want, and shit like that. That's kind of interesting. No, they just don't get any spells at all. They just don't. Sorcerer is really kind of sad in that respect, mostly because they just don't get enough spells to be good. You have to waste a lot of the spells you learn on like necessary defensive spells. You start with 2 spells. One of them should probably be shield or mage armor. And if not, your 2nd or 3rd level pick should be one of those 2 spells. And eventually you will need to pick up the other one anyway. You pick up mage armor at probably 2nd, most likely, and then start using it. Sorcerers have Chaos Bolt. That's it. They don't get anything else. That's the real sort of sad times, is that is. Yeah. I think that the flavor they're going for is giving sorcerers a very limited spell pool, but allowing them to fuck around with stuff with meta magic, and on the whole, Divine Soul Sorcerer is pretty fucking strong. Like, Twin Revivify, yeah please. Twin Healing Word, yeah, I want me some of that. Basically Twin Spell being insane, and then also being able to be like a proper like nuka wizard. The 1/2 Zbashu is a classic combo. Quick and Scorching Ray, Twin Firebolt. That's a spicy meter ball that you can do from like 3rd level onwards. Yeah, I think the main problem I think that bonus action spells pose is they're always just too good. Like, I can't think of a bonus action spell that's just kind of like, okay. Let me just double check. Citation needed. I'm gonna fetch a citation. But of all the bonus action spells I can think of off the top of my head, they're like some of the best spells in the entire game. Or just objectively the best spell in the entire game. Where the fuck casting time. Bonus action. Oh, actually, there is all the smite spells, and most of them are terrible. So there is that. I forgot about the smite spells. Oh, right. There is Blade of Disaster, but that's a 9th level spell, so I'm not entirely certain if that one counts. I mean, there's nothing stopping the Molly class, right? I mean, the fact that you have to main stat 2 different, like, mental scores is definitely a factor, but, you know, whatever, right? So, bonus action spells that are bad include most of the smite spells, admittedly. Compel Duel is pretty terrible. Hail of Thorns, actually no, it's a smite spell. It's not very, it's just not good. Flame Blade is kind of subpar. It's not bad, but it's not particularly good. Oh, Divine Word kind of sucks, but again, 7th level spell. I mean, yeah, but in a, you know, mechanical sense, you're having to tertiary dex and con, which is not great, especially because one of your main classes is a d6 hit die, and your dex and your con are both subpar. That's not something that you want at all. You don't. That's like I play a wizard with 8 constitution. Like, obviously that's the extreme. You're not going to have 8 con, you're probably going to have like 10 con. But even so, you're going to have bad AC and you're going to have subpar hit points at best. But like for out of combat stuff, like, it's fine. But, you know, ultimately, skill proficiencies kind of supersede. Like, if you want, you can be a face and have subpar charisma, because eventually, nah, I don't know if that's particularly, like, bonus action Revivify, then you can stand up and cast a cantrip, I guess, but otherwise that's kind of just whatever, right? You just, like, bonus action Revivify, or... Is True Resurrection an action? I don't actually know. I'm on the wrong thing. Oh no, they're both hours. Yeah, you can't quicken those. You have to quicken an action spell. So yeah, it's not completely insane. Quicken spell is just kind of reasonable. It's mostly just for, like, freeing up your action to dodge or cast a cantrip. Right. Magic item, a clock. I mean, it's been magic item, a clock this entire time, but you know what I mean. Yeah, getting a magic circle as a bonus action is, yeah, that's a lot. Trying to think what else we can do. It's mostly underappreciated for the fact that it's a 5th level paladin spell, and most campaigns never get that far, so most people never get to cast it. However, Twilight Cleric gets it at 9th level, so it's insane. Like, the Circle of Power is a great spell, it's just that unless you're a Twilight Cleric, you have to be a 17th level paladin to get it, so most players never get to cast it. Like, I think it's like 80% of campaigns, like long-term campaigns, finish at the beginning of, like, tier 3. So, like, 11th or 12th level at the latest. It's like 20% of long-term campaigns go anywhere beyond that, and I would imagine the amount that reach like the top end of tier 4 is single-digit percentages, most likely. Anyway, there is explicit data for this somewhere, but I think it's tainted by people that just play one-shots or whatever, or like play games that just die immediately the second they start them. But yeah, I say the Circle Power is very good, and Twilight Cleric shouldn't get it. There's a lot of things Twilight Cleric shouldn't get, and it just kind of does, but they get it, I guess. So here we are. I forgot fucking the tape of Swift Repair. Fucking flex tape. Completely just neglected the fact that flex tape was here, and every time I think about it, I forget about it. And then I scroll past this. This was like super early on as well. This is like probably circa like this time last year, maybe a little later, sort of maybe like winter of last year, of discovering the Phil Swift wiki, which is wonderful and fucking hilarious. There's a clip of it somewhere. That's probably buried somewhere. I say somewhere on Twitch. Always fun, always fun. I say no. This I'm fine with this. It's my earliest homebrew from circa like 6 years ago. That, I mean, it doesn't haunt me because I've mostly thrown it in the bin and remade it like again and again. So yeah, I'm sort of like I've there is nothing that haunts me because I've fixed it all for the most part. Anyway, there's probably still some broken bits and pieces here and there, but here we are, right? Oh. See, no, I quite like it. It's a therapeutic experience, I find. You know, it's the it is it's one of those things that I've always found is like every time I've remade something, it's always better than it was previously. And even if it's not perfect or it's not done, it's like, oh well, right, I'll just fix it again if I need to. It's when something becomes like a chronic, like this was fundamentally just a bad design decision. That's when it actually feels bad, when you actually have to like completely nix something because it just is a fundamentally terrible idea. And those are honestly rare. Like those are you know, those are even the darkest depths of the D&D wiki has ideas that are based on the core of good ideas. I've said it many times, is the D&D wiki is where good ideas go to die, because they just get kind of like thrown onto the D&D wiki and no one ever looks at them or critiques them, and thus the people that make them never get better. The people that produce exclusively for the D&D wiki and never get critique from other places. It's very much a habit that if you have that habit, you break it immediately, because it is the thing that is hamstringing your ability to progress as as a designer. Yeah, so like I wouldn't. It's I think my sort of attitude towards it is I say literally not last no it was last week I reviewed some classes on the D&D wiki. I say I do it because I enjoy it, and I do it to make things and release things. Like I do a combination of the two, usually both. yeah, I say I will say that most like D&D homebrew communities are shit. Like, frankly, they're just bad. They're like, the most prominent one is Unearthed Arcana, the subreddit, and Unearthed Arcana fucking sucks. It's terrible. All of the good designers that got their start on Unearthed Arcana have long since, jumped ship to better things. But, no, sorry, I was, replying to a message. But, yeah, I think that's the main thing, is, the most important part is playtesting, and playtesting in a tabletop game is fucking hard, because, it's, you have to sit down and, you can't just sit down and test something for 10 minutes or an hour. You have to prepare a session and run a 4-hour game for multiple people. Yeah, I think it's, like realistically, the best way to improve is to have someone who knows the game much better than you. Basically, just say, okay, right, this, and this, fix these things, here is why. It's why like the first time you get like a professional editor like look at your design work, it's don't know. I don't have any like bots that are snagging stuff, so no clue. Might have been an internet blip, might have been a Twitch blip, don't know. I don't have an auto mod that is sensitive or anything like that. I just, it's something on your end or on Twitch's end. Yeah, the obviously getting I didn't appear on the stream. Was you redeeming channel points? I don't know. It might just be a bug with the thing. That's interesting. I think, yeah, my I've like designed a decent number of classes for the game in my own time, and I've had a good time with it. Some I think are yeah, it didn't appear in my chat either. Presumably Twitch did something to it, or just didn't send it. I don't know. I didn't see it either. Yeah, don't know. I'll say. But yeah, I think the I think there's value to be found on the wiki, but I think ultimately, if there's anything that site needs, it's a fucking clean out of just the hordes of drivel that's on there. But the thing is, the wiki's got a reputation now. It's I knew that the D&D wiki was terrible before I even visited it. And this is circa like 2015, 2016, mind you. This is a long time ago. I think that's like, I think even a clean out wouldn't save its reputation, but it would certainly give it a fresh start, and that could eventually evolve its reputation into something more interesting. But the main thing is, the people who make, the people who are making things on a borderline professional level are out and trying to make money doing it, and that's really the way to go about it, is to go out and learn the skills you need to build a PDF and build a presence and sell your shit on the guild. I think the there's a lot of tripe on there. I think there's a lot of I don't know. It definitely needs to clean out, and I think that could help it. But ultimately, it is like the lowest springboard on the springboard ladder, so to speak. Of, you know, you either start at the D&D wiki or somewhere like Unearthed Arcana or whatever, and you sort of bounce your way up to the guild or to Itch or Drive Through, or maybe just selling stuff, you know, on like your Patreon or something. You know, starting a Patreon and getting a following there usually requires you to accrue a following in other places first, but, you know. There's a lot of... The reason why Unearthed Arcana is kind of garbage now is because it's mostly just people chasing Reddit points, as opposed to like actually trying to make anything that's worth anything. And all like the, you know, the good designers moved on to the guild in like 2016 when it opened up. I've said it a million times before. Yeah, I say if that's the reason you're staying, then by all means. But like I guess the main thing is, you know, ultimately, you and all of those people could theoretically migrate anywhere else, but it doesn't particularly matter at the end of the day. It's not too big of a deal. I think I'm going to take a break there, actually, because I'm really fucking hungry. I've not eaten I've eaten a normal amount today, but I've been awake for a lot longer than I would normally have been, you know, so, like, it feels like I've eaten less. So I'm going to probably take like a 15-minute break or so. I'll be back just before 7. I'll probably carry on for another sort of half an hour, 40 minutes or so, maybe a little longer if I sort of get on a roll and come up with some ideas. But I want to go grab some food because I'm fucking starving. If you got to head off, that's all good. Like, you know, I normally do this on a Monday, 5 p.m. BST. Yeah, sure, that's all good. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I say I tend to do this every Monday, and I occasionally do stuff like during the day. It's like UK time BST currently. I think most likely tomorrow at sort of 1 to 2 p.m. BST I'll be working on some personal writing stuff for a DM's Guild project, and then pretty later on during the week I'm probably do some game prep because I've got a lot of games I've been sound for far too fucking long. But yeah, I'll be back in about 15 minutes, so I'll see some of you soon, and yeah. Thanks for stopping by, anybody who's heading off now. See you in a minute. I return. It is me. There we go. Let's scooch in a bit. I had an idea for another tattoo, probably a very rare one. Oh, here it is, okay. That's interesting. That's cool. I like that. Let's add... Oh, shit. It feels simple, you know? I like it. Yeah, I think the... I feel that feels very simple, but yeah, that's kind of elegant. Let me just double check Petrify to make sure it does what I want it to do. I'm fairly certain it does, but... Resistance to all damage. I guess the main thing is you become an object. Yeah, no, it would turn you into an object, which would mean it would reduce your hit points, and then you would just get fucking wrecked. So maybe not just using the word just using petrified, because then you'd just be an object and would get destroyed immediately. It should be affected, not affected. Kind of, it has all the effects of petrified, but doesn't actually petrify you. That's cool. I like that idea. We've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 magic items today of varying complexity. Oh, I pressed a button that I didn't want to press. Oh, it's fine. I just turned that sound down a little bit by accident. But like very little as well. Let's turn it right back up. It's okay. So I probably won't go for too much longer, just because like my almost total lack of sleep last night is catching up with me. And I kind of want to relax for the rest of the evening, but I do kind of want to work on one more thing. So if anyone has any suggestions, do feel free to slap them in with the with the channel points thing, but otherwise I might go through the two that I have in there at the moment. I think I might rename it, but I think it's interesting. Duelist's Wand. Yeah, actually, no, I'll make it a wand. No. Weapon. Rapier. As well as if you can cast a spell first level or higher. Hang on, let me go read the Sunblade. The Sunblade has something like this. Which means that every single class in the game is proficient in the Duelist Wand. Which I do find kind of funny. A lot of the wording on the Duelist one is kind of weird, but that feels simple. I like it. But I think I might call it there because I can feel myself falling asleep. I am so tired. But thank you very much for people who have stuck about, or who have been lurking, or have suggested things, especially. I am probably going to do another stream of magic items potentially next week. And I'm assuming I don't feel like dog shit. I am going to be streaming again tomorrow to work on the last character for Angela's Mortal Manual. So the very last one, which is cool. And then I sort of hand it over to test readers and start editing the thing myself. I've already started on that. I say I've already also handed most of it over to test readers too, but either way. Thank you very much for those who stuck about. I tend to do this every Monday if you're sort of new or whatever. So I do sort of homebrew stuff like every Monday. But yeah, I'm going to head off now because I'm too tired to read anybody today. Thank you very much for people who stuck about. So yeah.